Hello, it is Sunday and it is time for my mental health vlog. And Sundays on 3-day weekends are hard because Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening comes and then I have all the things I normally would do. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do any of them. I'll do them tomorrow. But I can't do this one tomorrow because I've done that before. I've got to get my vlog done on Sunday. That's what I promised myself I'm going to do. So, on Friday, I went to the doctor. I was supposed to go the previous Friday, but because of all the terrible storms that Houston had on Thursday, my appointment got canceled, so I had to go the following Friday. I was really looking forward to this appointment, and it went exactly as I was hoping that it would. I'm still getting some of my results, and the doctor hasn't reviewed them yet. But the first thing that I saw that I was very excited about is when I started on the Ozempic in February, not January. When I started on the Ozempic in February, my A1C is 6.9, and that was already down substantially, but that was still considered diabetic. And now my A1C came in at 6.1, which is under the threshold of what is considered to be diabetic. So I'm back to being pre-diabetic, which is really, really exciting news. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. I also got my cholesterol report back, and for the first time in God knows how long, like nothing in there is in red. Like anything that's high is supposed to be high, anything that's low is supposed to be low. My numbers are all within like normal ranges. My blood pressure has been down. So I am very, very confident, as is the doctor when I saw her on Friday, who was just so happy with how my body was reacting to the Ozempic. And she was like, yeah, and you're on a really low dose too. I'm like, low? I said, I thought 0.5 was one of the higher doses. She's like, for the compounded, yes, you're on straight Ozempic. So a 0.5 Ozempic is about equivalent to a 0.25 of a compounded. So I'm like, that was very interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that the compounded were stronger than the regular Ozempic, but I'm having really good results on this one. So I'm okay with, with where I am. When I did ask her, I'm like, so we got insurance to approve the Ozempic based on the fact that I was diabetic. I said, if I'm no longer diabetic, will insurance still cover that medication? She said, yes, we can make a case for you that, your A1C is low because of the Ozempic. So I'm just really thrilled that my body is reacting as well as it is to it. But there are definitely things I'm finding myself not doing. Like I'm not eating enough protein. I'm not eating enough, period. And I'm not eating enough protein. And I'm finding that my brain activity suffers on some days where I don't have enough protein. I have a hard time remembering words or functions or responsibilities or tasks or activities or I don't need a reason to be more forgetful, but evidently when I don't have protein, that just makes it worse. So I have got to make sure I'm eating enough. I do not have good eating habits. I haven't for some time. And that's just not healthy, period. So adding that to the list of things I need to start taking better control of, especially now that I've been given this gift of dropping a lot of weight and getting my numbers down in a position where if I don't take advantage of this and I don't focus on me being the healthiest version of me I can be with this, then it's been a huge waste of time, and it's a waste of resources and medication that honestly could be helping someone else. So I don't want to just say, oh yay, miracle drug, and not do the other parts of this that I need to, like going back to the gym, which honestly, we've been to the gym like 3 times this year. It is May. The one time we went after starting the Ozempic, I was so sick from the Ozempic I could barely work out. And I think we've been one time since then, but not since half my body dropped off. So, and it's not half my body, it's about 35 pounds just this year alone. So that in itself is pretty insane. I bought a pair of shorts this week at Ross that were 36s, which is kind of where I am right now. Got them home, they were too big. Had to exchange them for 34s. My brain can't comprehend that. My brain was having a hard time comprehending the 36s. And I don't know when it's gonna stop. Like, how much more fat do I have to lose? It's also losing muscle, so I have to make sure I am doing my resistance training and my weight training, or I'm just gonna be skinny. And I don't wanna be skinny. I would look weird skinny. I need to be burly. I am my burly bottom spokesperson after all, so I need to be burly. So I had therapy this week, which I love when I have my therapist. She's amazing. We talked a little bit about the weird rage grieving that I had the week prior, when I was watching the finale of Young Sheldon, and my brain, I was triggered by all these emotions of the fact that I've been robbed of the chance to grieve a parental figure in the healthy way I'm supposed to be able to, even though he's not dead yet. It's like I've grieved him already, but not in a healthy, releasing, closing way, and I'm not sure I'll ever be able to do that. But it was nice to hear that these feelings, which were new to me and were very, very foreign, so which is why I had to explore them. She said that they weren't nearly as uncommon and unfamiliar as I thought they were. So that was always that's always a benefit when I find out I'm not, super unique on some features. That I don't believe in normal. I don't believe in normal. How many times have I said what's normal to the spider is chaos to the fly? So I don't believe in normal, but it's nice to be closer to societal normal, maybe. I don't know. Also talked about the conversation that I had had with my son the week before, when he told me that we have nothing in common, so that's why he doesn't like hanging out with me. Well, yesterday morning we went over to Grandma and Grandpa's to hang out in the pool for like a Memorial Day barbecue weekend type thing. And at one point it was just my son and I in the pool. And I told him, I said, last week you told me that you don't like to hang out with me because we don't have anything in common. I said, and I get that. I may not have always loved hanging out with my parents too. I said, but there's going to be times where I want to spend time with you, and you're gonna have to suck it up and not have whatever, your phone or your laptop, and spend time with me. I said, I'm your parent. That's my right. And I said, basically, I'm never going to stop trying to find things in common with you, because I don't want to ever give up an opportunity to have a bonding conversation with my son. So, and the doctor was, and my therapist was very much like, you have to. So I've been trying to listen a little better when he's rambling on about stuff that I just don't give a shit about. What's his more recent video game that's also a show on Amazon? I don't even know, something about someone that died in a bunker or survived in a bunker, and I don't know. It's very, very popular. It's a video game. It's just shoot 'em up video game, and I don't like those. I don't like that he plays those. But I lost that battle a long time ago. I just want to spend time with him. I don't want him to be like 30 and be like, I'm gonna go to Houston or wherever I'm living and be like, I don't need to see Papa this trip. I'll see him next time. Or, that he never thinks about me at all. I mean, that's every parent's worst fear. I hope that I don't end up with an estranged relationship with my son like I had with my father, although the circumstances are very different. I just have to keep trying. And I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I've already made a lot of mistakes. I had to punish him today, and he seemed like it was super, super unfair. And I'm like, no, that's not really unfair. I said, but to be honest, I said, life is not fair. And I said, and that's the worst thing as a kid you can hear when you say, it's not fair, life's not fair, because you can't process that. When you get my age, you'll understand that. Just as when my mother told me that, I didn't process it either, and it sucked. It just was unfair. Fair. my fiance and I have been struggling to connect physically. We tried to have some intimate time last week, and I was just like, I just can't get there. And we tried again a night or two later, and I was able to get there, but it was a struggle, and I hate that I'm struggling with him, and I feel like he's struggling a little bit too, and I feel like we've been kind of burning the candle at both ends, between FD Designs, Burly Bottom getting ready for Pride, and my regular job, plus trying to, the part-time parenting thing, and doing marketing and stuff that I need to do, and being social that I need to do. We're just exhausted, and there's just not a whole lot of time or energy. And when we do have the time or energy, we're just too exhausted to do anything. So this too shall pass. I understand that we are super, super busy and being pulled in a bunch of different directions right now, but I can't lose sight of the fact that I don't want to sacrifice what we've worked on so hard for anything. I don't want to sacrifice that because I'm in a bad mood, or because I'm just so busy, and we're both so busy. I don't want to sacrifice that. It's worth the effort to me, because he's worth the effort to me, just like my son's worth the effort to me. Sometimes I just question what my effort looks like. I hate saying that. My therapist gets mad at me when I call myself lazy, but I feel like I'm lazy because, and it's not, as honestly, it's not necessarily true, because I call myself lazy because when I'm done doing a full day of work and extra hours on patches and stuff for Burly Bottom and whatnot, I just kind of want to sit in the recliner and be a cushion. I want to be a pillow on the recliner. That's all I want to be. And I'm not acknowledging the work that I've done up to the point that I want to relax. All I see in my head is that I'm sitting down not doing XYZ, more stuff on my list. Why am I not doing more? And that's something I think I've always kind of struggled with for myself, is not feeling like I was doing enough, but then not really doing anything about it. And then it becomes a weird self-hating pity thing, which is not healthy. So clearly I need to dig into that a little bit more. But I feel like I don't always make the best use of my time. But sometimes that time, just relaxing and taking self-care, is the best use of that time. So it's something I'm still trying to figure out, and I don't know if I ever will figure it out, but that's what's bouncing around my head today. I tried to make a share in my meeting on Wednesday, and for some reason words were just very difficult, and I was mumbling and stumbling and repeating myself, and I was trying desperately to make the point that was in my head, and it just never made it from here to here. So I do like sharing my hope, experience, and strength with my brothers in my program, but sometimes I just have such a hard time executing what's in my head or communicating what's in my head, because my Focalin and my ADHD medication has well worn off by the time I'm at my Wednesday night meeting, and so I'm already struggling, but it's so easy for me to lose focus. And I have a friend that I noticed writes stuff down in the meetings, and then he uses that for his share, and maybe I should start doing that, trying to gather my thoughts a little bit more. And maybe not, playing Pokemon Go while in the meeting as well would probably also help me focus a little bit more. And it's funny that I'm yelling at myself about that, or calling myself out on that, because I've been noticing that whenever my son is doing any chore, he does it with his phone. Takes out the trash, he's watching YouTube. It takes him like 7 trips to get all the trash and recycling out to the curb, which could literally be done in like 2 if he wasn't watching his phone. Today he went downstairs to get some. We went to Waffle House for breakfast this morning because he wanted to go to Waffle House, and we haven't been in a while, so sure, no problem. He got 2 waffles. He took one of them home. I ordered a grits bowl. The grits were actually good for the first time in a long time, and I only ate about half of it, so I took that home. We both had leftovers. This afternoon, I'm up here working on patches, and he comes out of his fortress of solitude and goes downstairs to munch on his waffle. No problem. We have no problem with him eating leftovers in the fridge during the day, because we usually don't have a structured lunch. We just kind of eat whatever. And after working up here all day, I went downstairs and I saw my breakfast sitting on the counter. And I'm like, I guarantee you, when he pulled the bag of leftovers out, he was looking at his phone, he pulled out his waffle, he pulled out my breakfast, he set them on the counter, he ate his waffle, he threw his container away while watching his phone, and then went back upstairs, leaving mine to spoil, leaving my, scrambled eggs to spoil on the counter. So I did yell at him about that. I'm like, I really need you to focus, because you're not. And you're not even attempting to focus. It's like, focusing is hard for you. You have to be able to remove the things that you know are distracting you from being able to focus. You've got to figure that out. So I did tell him, and he's like, I'm extremely sorry. I'm like, I know you are. But the fact remains, whenever you're doing any task and you're multitasking while you're watching your phone, it takes you longer. Things get missed, things get forgotten, things get done wrong, and it's not an effective use of your time. So there are a couple of lessons he had to learn this weekend. One of them, that being one of them, and the other is a wet bathing suit and towel cannot be left on wood furniture like we did at Grandma and Grandpa's house. So Grandpa is trying to salvage the furniture, but I did tell my son about it, and I'm like, you are losing a day of tech sometime this week. I said, because that was destruction of Grandpa's property. I said, whether it was intentional or not, that was the result. I said, and if he needs to do any repairs to that, sanding or repairing or whatever, you will be helping him with that. So I think he's upset that he made Grandpa angry. Because I think that's different than when you make a parent angry. You make a grandparent angry, you're like, oh, shit. Because my grandfather on my mother's side, who I was ridiculously close with, he was my hero growing up. And still is, honestly. I think I made him mad once. And I don't remember the details. I remember him being angry. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go. Because he didn't get angry very often. And I just didn't want to upset him. I liked him too much. He was cool. He was like your grandparents are like the cool parents. You can get away with a lot more shit. I have a lot of those. I have a great aunt that I did the same thing with. Zip of wine. I think that's all I've got going on right now. There's so much. I've got early bottom stuff all over the house, which I'm trying so hard to keep out of my son's eye line. And I put everything in the dining room. And the other day he grabbed a package of Cheez-Its, and because he won't let him eat upstairs in his room, he took them to the dining room to sit down and eat. I'm like, well, you choose your own scenery, I guess. You sat down voluntarily. You get to look at everything, so. What a day, what a weekend, and it's not even all the way over yet. So, all right, guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you do have some fun planned this weekend. We got invited to a party. My son can't go. It is what it is. There's I'm sure there's pool parties tomorrow and stuff for today, and I would have loved to have gone, but I get to stay here with my son in his fortress of solitude, making loud noises when he stomps his feet and drops something, or the Wi-Fi goes out. I love my son. Yeah, pretty sure I love my son. I do. He's a shithead, but clearly that's genetic. Even if he's adopted, he's still a shithead. All right, that's it. Check on your friends, make sure they're doing okay. Check on your family and friends and your loved ones, make sure they're doing okay. I said friends twice. You have more than one friend, check on them. Check on yourself. What do you need? I've been doing a really good job of analyzing things and finding holes or what I'm doing great or not doing great or missing out on, and trying to adjust accordingly. And I did get some great feedback from my therapist about that. She said I was really good about finding when things are different or new and really analyzing them. So continue to do that for yourself too, because if you have feelings you don't understand, take the time to figure them out. If you do something you wouldn't normally do, take the time to figure that out. Why? What caused you to do it? Make sure you're giving yourself some self-care. Analyzing your feelings can be self-care. All right, guys, you have a wonderful long weekend. I hope you get some fun pool party time. I'm going downstairs to be a pillow on a recliner. Bye, guys.